All right, welcome to another Paifu review. We will be focusing today on Shannon and Simon's hands for the most part, um, and Nikki, I guess. But um, the four players on the table are the three that I just mentioned and myself. Um, I originally wanted it to be more focused on the ones I just mentioned, just because I think there would be more value in talking about those hands, more return. Anyways, doesn't really matter for the purposes of this, but just wanted to get that out there. Obviously, if there's anything interesting, we'll go over it, but we'll start with Shannon, I guess. Do you have anything you want to share? Any questions?
Um, no.
Nothing for this hand, you mean?
Not really.
Okay. Uh, I didn't have anything written down for Shannon in this one. Did anyone else want to jump in for East one?
Yeah. On the fourth turn.
For Shannon's hand?
Yeah. What's Can you walk us through what you're thinking here?
Um, I I just cut it because one mon overlaps with the four. That's all.
Um, how many blocks do you have? I mean, a conch
Um,
is blocking itself.
yeah. So I was originally hoping to pair up my Yakuhai so that I could call it, but that didn't really happen.
So you saw the fifth block in your Jihai instead of the.
Well, well I was gonna keep the Jihai in case I paired it up, but otherwise I would want like a better floating tile for my fifth block.
Seems like you can get that sooner or later, though.
Okay. What do you mean?
Like, you can still get a floating tile, even if
Uh-huh.
you get rid of one of your Jihais here.
Okay.
I see what you're trying to do, but I mean, you still have to Jihai to pair up and end the hand quickly. But I think missing out on 3 mon, kind of missing out on whole block would be kind of tough because you want to win this hand, right? It's Dora Dora.
Uh-huh.
Any
Uh,
any other comments
from me?
from anyone?
I mostly just looked at my own hand, so nothing on.
Well, like if you had this hand, would you like? What would you do?
Probably cut Shun here. Yeah, I think missing on 3 mon would be a little tragic.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Um, I can see, the merit for keeping all the Jihai just to maximize the Yakuhai acceptance, right? And like if you keep the 5 blocks here, which is, the natural thing to do, I think. Um, sure you can accept 3 mon and then you would have 1, 2, 3, right? And then the rest of your blocks. But then that would be like 4 mon pay shampoo. It's not that's not particularly great. But I mean, 4 mon can evolve, I guess, so that's not bad. Also, having 2 pairs allows you to get a third Dora if that happens. So I think with all those things being considered, all those things should be considered, right? And then with all those things in mind, I think it's okay to cut one of the G high here. But if you were to cut one of the G high, would it be Tonnan or Chun? And would it make that? I mean, the difference would the difference be that significant?
I mean, you have to take into account the call. I think just happened the turn before.
Right.
Toyman, the 9 so call.
Yeah.
I'd be a little wary throwing the Ton at this point, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's either Ton or Hatsu, right? Or Pei. But yeah. But if they have 2 tone, that means you can't get then you can't get 3 tones, right?
Or I guess the other side is do you cut Tone here and continue to push to try to get? Because if it is in their hand, like there's kind of that's going to be a bottleneck for this hand.
Exactly. Shannon, do you
Yeah.
have any?
So,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh, go on.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Shannon if she had any thoughts about the order in which to cut the G high, whether there was any thought behind it.
Mm, I'm more sus about cutting tone than the others.
And so you
Does
would
that
you would hold on to
that
it.
means I should? I don't know, but I feel like in that case, if I'm pushing my hand, I should cut it earlier, right? I don't really know. But anyway, I
kind of think that's
I
right.
think. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that if you think this is a hand that you're going to be pushing that you want to win, then
Uh-huh.
you should definitely cut the tone first.
Oh, okay.
But if you're not so confident that you're going to win this hand, then um that means you're going to be prepared to fold, which means you might not want to cut the tone from a shape like this.
Okay.
But I mean, it's normal that you know you have 2 Dora, you have your blocks already. It's normal to just push and cut the tone right now. Better now than later.
Okay.
Well, let me give a overall view picture of this. Like, you're down Shanten, Dora. There's only like one call on the table. This like 4th turn. Like to fold here to just straight up keep the tone here. I think it's kind of a way too defensive.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
I don't think that keeping the tone here necessarily means that you're gonna fold. But like this hand is, like you said, the enchanten and the remaining shapes are bad. So it's entirely reasonable to think that you're not going to be able to win this hand,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore not want to take the risk of cutting the tone before your hand is actually worth it. It's more of like a how do you judge the hand sort of deal.
Mm.
Not that holding the tone here means you're just going to fold.
What would you do?
I would cut. I would cut the 1 mon.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I actually want to go back to this, right? Like normally you do just keep all 5 blocks. You cut a G high. Like normally you just cut the Chun because it's 1 out and it's Yaku high for everyone else, but non is your own wind, and you keep the tone because it's live. But you know, if you're cutting a G high based on like what we all just talked about, you cut tone. But I don't want to cut any G high right now. I would rather cut the 1 mon. If you draw 3 mon, that's great. It's not really even a backfire because you kind of want the hand shape to improve a little bit before Tenpai anyway. Like it's not a huge miss. And then if you can actually pair up one of the Yakuhai, that's great. Like cutting a Yakuhai here and then missing it would be pretty bad. But cutting 1 mon here and then getting the 3 mon is not even a miss.
Yeah, because you still have that floating 4-mon, right?
Yeah.
And you wouldn't. Well, I mean, the only miss would be like if you drew a third pay, I guess.
I mean that's not really a big miss either. That just means you have to make a pair somewhere.
Yeah.
So normally you cut G high, but I would cut 1 mon.
Thoughts? Anyone else?
Yeah, so I guess looking at this again, Shannon, with all the discussion that we've had so far, what has your perspective changed?
No.
All right, clearly Shannon's playing at Niwa's level.
Oh no.
I see.
No, just because I would cut 1 mon doesn't mean you should cut 1 mon.
I totally agree.
You just have to understand like what you're getting and what you're giving up with each decision.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did anyone have anything else for this hand in particular?
I do.
Yeah.
For from the 6th Dan perspective, which is you.
Okay.
Oh,
are you gonna? Are you? I think I know what you're
the
gonna ask.
Dama?
I'm just asking the thought process behind the Dama.
Okay.
Yeah, you should.
This is what I wrote. Hold on.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it was right here. So this is what I wrote in my notes.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote no Richi because stop on Hatsu, and then I crossed it out, and then I wrote no Richi probably bad.
Yeah, I would immediately Richi this hand.
Oh, if Shannon says it, that means you should Richi.
Whoa!
I
Is
see.
it Shannon the Richi Oracle? For
No, but Shannon's afraid to Richi anything. So if she'll Richi this, you should Richi.
But
Is that how it works?
wouldn't she still regret it immediately after?
No. Shannon never regrets Richis.
Yeah, she just says that.
Reach Tan Yao Pingfu Ipeko possible Sanshoku?
Yeah.
That looks pretty good.
It's anyways, I gave you my reason, so does that sound like reasonable? I was going to stop on the Hatsu, but then I realized that's probably.
Would you really?
Well, that was the initial reason why I decided to Dama, and then as you see later, I thought about it some more, and I was like, it's probably bad.
And then you were like, I'll chase. It's okay. I mean, your hand's good.
So you would stop on Hatsu, but you cut pay.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I crossed it out, and I was like, wait, but I'm willing to throw pay, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
like the Dama could be either from you think it's high enough value so you Dama'd, or that you're so afraid that you Dama'd, right?
Well, I mean, it was a little bit of both, but if I won on the 5 pin, then it's not even like it would have doubled if I reached. Yeah, exactly. So
you should Richi.
So you should Richi.
So you should Richi.
Yeah.
Yeah, if your hand value itself is like just as high as your opponent's, it's a fight.
Okay.
Especially with a good weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to supplement that it's entirely possible other people are already using up the Hatu, or
Yeah. I mean, it's also possible that Shimocha in this perspective has like Dora Anko already. But again, I also have good value, good weight, so.
Did you think it was only 2?
Shimocha? I mean, up until like turn 6, yeah.
I think it was the 4-pin cut, 4-pin 7-mon Tadashi that I thought probably not.
Yeah.
If it's not Honitsu, then what is it?
She
Toy
could have an
Toy
Anko.
or
She could have an
Yakuhai.
Anko of Yakuhai, yeah. Or Toy Toy, I guess.
Toy Toy would be kind of weird, wouldn't it?
A little. I was thinking she probably had like an Anko of Yakuhai.
Uncle, huh?
Well, oh well, it would have to. Well, not. I didn't think she had an Anko of Pei. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, you knew that she didn't have an Uncle of Pei, but like Otozuke is one of the options,
I
right?
mean, I thought maybe Hatsu.
Well, let's find out.
It was Otozuke or Toy Toy.
Seems reasonable.
But I think given that by the time you were Tenpai Aaron, like from these cuts, right? If it's not Honitsu, and it's either Toy Toy or Otozuke, which leans towards Otozuke for Hatu.
She looks really bad.
I think like the evaluation on cutting Hatu from being dangerous is just also very minimal.
Pei looks way worse than Hatsu.
Oh, actually, you know what? I did have a question. I think I've seen someone do this before, where they will, cut Dora like this, right? Dama.
Mm-hmm.
And then see
and then if it passes, they reach the next turn.
Yeah. But obviously, like in this situation, my hand value is just good enough, anyways. Like I'm just gonna fight anyways. But like if it weren't, like let's say if it were just like, I don't know, Paifu only, right? Then would it make sense to do that? Cut it, Dama, and then if it passes, then reach. Or does that like not?
Answer.
Sorry.
I'll let other people answer first.
Okay. Yeah, is that even like a thing that should be done?
If your hand's Paifu only, I don't know. I guess it really depends on whether you think Nikki's hand is Tenpai. Because Pei does look really like if that deals into her, that's kind of bad.
Oh, so you're saying the thought would be if it's Tenpai for Paifu only, would you even take it or not? Would you even throw
against Nikki? I mean, if you're like, oh, I'll just take it, then I guess just reach on the door, whatever. You're gonna cut it anyway.
I think Aaron had a different question though.
Whether to wait a turn to see if it gets called before you still want to fold?
No, because you were saying like if you're worried about it dealing in or being called, right?
You're saying it like if your hand was Paifu only and you cut the door and someone called it, then you would want to fold now? Is that like the deal?
Well,
That's the
that's
question.
yeah, that's one, and then the other one is like, do you think it'll deal in right now? Right? That I thought that was the question that you were saying.
Well, yeah, that was what I was saying. But like, yeah, do you think Nikki's Tenpai waiting on Yakuhai?
It's definitely possible, but so that's what I'm saying. Like, if this were,
Yeah,
not this
if you're not worried
valuable.
about that and you're just gonna cut it, yeah, probably just reach it.
Yeah. But what if it was painful only? Then would you
I
still?
mean, uh,
If it's painful only, you just don't. Would you?
I don't know if it's people only.
Would you
Would you
even
still
risk
cut the
it?
Dora there? Would you still cut the Dora there?
Yeah. The first question would be, would you even take the painful only and cut the Dora, risking dealing into 8,000, right? And then I guess the second question would be, I don't know. Follow up question would be like, is there a point in which you, like, well, yeah, if that's like no, right? You wouldn't cut it. You wouldn't be willing to cut it, right? To win 1,000 with potential dealing into 8,000. Where is the value threshold? So I guess if it were Tenpai for Pinfu only, would you risk dealing into 8,000 right now by throwing pay?
I think Simon said yes, but Dama. Is that what you said
Wait, what?
earlier?
I no.
Okay.
I think that's what Aaron's asking.
Oh.
Yeah, would
Okay.
you? Would you throw the pay? I'm not asking whether you would reach your Dama. Would you just throw it
Oh,
at all?
if I can't tell whether Nikki's Tenpai, I might just throw it.
Okay.
That might not be a good idea though. I don't know. Like her cuts look really weird. Like she calls nine so immediately, right? So if it's not like Honitsu, yeah, with those cuts, it doesn't really look like Honitsu. Then it definitely looks like she's got like Yago hype to back it up, or unless she's going for Toy Toy.
I mean, you
And
can kind
so
of come at this like if you must solve this problem like a math problem, right?
okay,
You would think first, what is the base EV of you just giving up the hand? I mean, anyone else could still Tumo. And if you give up the hand with a single paying and you do not pair up, that's you must pay K10 or Tumo. So the base EV would be
negative.
it would be negative, but it'll be around I think negative 2,000 ish, 2,000
Okay.
up or down. Does that
Okay.
sound right? Anyone else? Anyone else have questions about like how if this number is right?
That sounds
That
about right.
feels
Now,
negative 2,000.
like
Oh,
basically,
compared to maintaining Tenpai.
like it's if you fold, like on average you get negative 2,000, right?
Okay.
And so if you want the EV to be higher than that, you just have to do like what's the chances that this pay deals in 8,000 to push your ping through, because then you can see if that's that EV is higher than the fold EV, and you'll just pick from there. So let's just say if the deal-in rate is 50%, right, which I don't think it is, it's 50%. You do 50% times 8,000, so you're at minus 4,000.
And which is worse than the minus 2,000 if you fold. So you fold.
Yeah. But let's say if you think the deal-in rate is
Wait. Hold on. We did not finish.
Wait, that's not
Okay.
that's
Don't
not
you
the
have
right
to
EV.
factor in
I mean, you can win too.
Yeah, you need to
factor in your
add
win
that
rate?
to
You need to
the
add. You
yeah.
need to add that in. Yeah.
You need to add that to your win EV as well.
Yeah. So 50% minus 4,000 and 50% damaing your Pingfu 1,000. Let's just simplify it like that, right?
Right, so it's minus 3,500.
Yeah. But if you're doing this and the dealing rate is only 25%, then your EV goes up significantly above 2,000. I'm using some hand wavy stuff, but if you do the math, I'm sure that's how it's gonna go.
So yeah, I guess what you're saying is that there is some vague idea of your hand being bigger in that equation, right? Justifying the push.
Always.
Yeah. And that has to also take into account how likely it is to deal in at this moment. I guess also, I mean, you can't really predict what happens afterwards too, but like the deal in rate after this point, basically, including the one tile. So it's not something that you can really do with certainty, right?
Yeah, no.
But it is something that you could just vaguely kind of there's a vague notion of it, like, okay, how likely it is to deal in and how big is my hand. These two factors feed into this black box of decision making.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess to wrap this all up, what would be sort of your inputs to those to make you want to push or fold? What would be your thresholds?
People who are on the table first should answer.
To push the Dora against Nikki's hand or something?
Yeah, like how much does your hand have to be worth to push the Dora here?
At this point, yeah.
I would reach, and then maybe like 2 other Han. I don't know.
So like you can just say like a score. Like, is 39 good?
I think 39 is probably good.
Does it have to be 39 or more? Or can it be less than 39?
I almost feel like if we do the math, it could be less than 39. Because I don't think the deal-in rate is 50%.
I would push 39.
Would you push 2,000? 26?
No on 26.
Anyone else?
I feel like 26 is borderline.
I think I would push 39.
I don't think I would push
Yeah.
26.
I
Yeah,
would.
I think
push
39
1,000.
is.
Wait, what did you say, Brian?
What?
My threshold is at 1,000.
Oh,
I don't think the deal-in rate is that high right now.
But you wouldn't push 26, is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying 26 is borderline. I think I could possibly push 26.
I don't think you only have to think about it dealing right now, because if you deal it and they end up summoing later, that still counts towards the negative EP.
Right. Yeah, like there's obviously way too many possibilities, right? They could just pawn it and then what happens then? But like in this specific situation, what would your hand have to be worth for you to be able to push this? It definitely sounds like there's a we're kind of narrowing it down, right? 39 seems like everyone would push that. 26 Simon is kind of borderline on. Brian,
I mean, pushing 39 is just normal.
Yeah, and then Brian's all the way down at 1,000. So trying to see, is there anyone else that's...
See, I think 26 is pushable because even if it gets pawned, you do have enough tiles to Mawashi your way around, depending on what you draw.
Can we table that for now? Because if you're willing, if you're like, oh, 26 is enough, but you're gonna Mawashi, then you're not. Then 26 is not enough.
I see. But we're just talking about, I guess,
Anyway, just Rigi.
Rishi or Paifu Nomi,
No, this one.
the 26.
Mm,
It doesn't matter what like this actual hand. Or we're talking about something else.
Oh. Um. I mean, if your weight's good, 29 might be okay. I think.
Would 2000 be alright? Reach Paifu?
I mean, sometimes 2000 might be better than 26, right?
Wait, what?
Because the 2000 will have a
sorry,
better weight.
wait.
Wait, what?
I mean, you could just have an Anko in your hand and then you're still on a Yamen, but
Right.
reach Paifu?
Yeah, I'm assuming when you say 26, it's like a not Yamen weight.
Oh,
I mean,
Oh,
it could be.
I wasn't talking. I was assuming essentially a two-sided weight.
Okay.
Something to think about. Brian, do you want to close us off with why you think it's fine to push even 1000?
Just my estimate of it dealing in is like just not that high, and the loss otherwise is significant too.
Okay.
I mean, I would also push 1000 if it's a winnable 1000, like Paifu Nomi.
Yeah, like given if it's the same weight as this hand.
Yeah,
Like
like
5 even.
I would expect Shimocha to be at least Ishanten, if not Tenpai, given the call and the cuts. But like I would Richi good shape Dora 1 as well. Like Richi Nomi is kind of pushing it probably, but
Mm-hmm.
like Dama Pinfu, I'm okay with. Dama Tanyao, I'm okay with. But like if I want to reach it, it has to be at least 26. And
Okay.
and I would also have to not have other Yaku.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, I was
like
talking about the 1000 for Pingfu.
yeah. I think if you have Pinfu plus 1, then you should also reach it. Just because that makes it 39.
Mhm.
Okay.
But like the original question that Aaron asked is like, can you cut the pay and then wait to see if it gets called and then reach it afterwards, maybe? Also has to do a little bit with what Simon said about like, well, maybe you can Mawashi, right?
Mhm.
Okay, but he's not gonna change his hand.
I mean,
Probably.
not in this specific case, but in general.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
In general, if you have Pinfu Nomi, I think it's reasonable to cut Yaku Haidora, see if it gets called, and then if it does, change your decision afterwards. And then if not, you just reach it.
Okay.
But how you change your decision afterwards is very difficult
Right.
because like you have to have some sort of um, heuristics or guidelines or something of like what to do, like what tiles are you going to fold on,
Mhm.
and that means being able to like properly assess their hand speed, like the person who called the tile. So if you can't really do that with confidence, then it's probably better to just reach it.
Interesting. Okay. That
I
makes
mean,
sense.
do you think that's fair, Bryant?
Yep, very fair.
But yes, please reach this hand in this Paifu.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions about this East one hand? All right. Moving on. Let's see. Simon, do you want to start us off? Do you have anything for this hand?
Sure. I think, let's see, I have something on turn 4. So I got 1 pin here. My reasoning was there was no value, and I also wanted a better shape.
Yeah, so you are planning to do 1-2 pin and then like have 5 mon and 5 so be lone tiles.
Not, I mean, if I draw a 3 pin, I still have a completed shape,
It's true.
and I can have a pair in my 5 so.
Yeah.
That was my reasoning. I don't know if it's correct.
I think that is reasonable. Makes sense. And it's early enough, so yeah, it's seems fine.
And then I think my other note was essentially Dora on the last turn, I think, for
Oh, well,
K10, which I
shouldn't
can.
we finish talking about, like, anyone else have
Yeah,
input for this?
well, no one jumped in, so I
Oh,
just
yeah.
assumed.
No, if you have no input, say no input.
No input.
Shannon, do you have input?
No.
You want to say something about it?
I do.
Go ahead.
If you cut 1 pin here, you're going back a Shanten, right?
Yes.
So I don't think you should be willing to give up this Ishanten to keep this extra 5 so. Like, you want this San Menchan to stay a San Menchan, right?
Yeah, kind of.
So it's natural to just cut the 5 so, and then if you fill in the 3 pin first, then you take your San Menchan Pin Furichi. And if you fill in the Sozu first, you can then cut 1 pin and hope to stick something to your 5 mon to
I see.
have like Tom Pin or something. Yeah,
Okay.
it's I mean, I see what you were trying to do, and it does make some sense, but I think it's overdoing it a little bit. Because like even if you draw 3 pin after cutting 1 pin and you end up using your 5 so as your pair, there's no guarantee you'll end up with a good shape.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's normal to just keep the Ishanten here, and keep the floating 5 mon for the improvement.
Okay.
So the having a floating 5 so doesn't really do much for you, is what you're saying?
Yeah, not really.
Okay.
I agree.
If this weren't a San Menchan, it might be a little different, but like this is your best shape and you wouldn't want it to become your pair.
Makes sense.
Okay, and you said this one?
Yeah, I couldn't cut 9 mon for Tenpai, which I think is reasonable.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
What did you cut here?
What did I cut? I probably should have cut 5 pin.
Yeah, like 2 pin.
No,
You're not
that's
gonna be Tenpai,
yeah.
and 2 pin's not Genbutsu.
Genbutsu.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 pin. Yeah.
I think I spent too much time thinking about the 9 mon and then ran out of time.
Well, if you're close to running out of time and you're not Tempai, or you're not planning to take K10, then you should just throw Genbutsu.
Well, I spent most of my time thinking about whether I should take K10.
Ah.
All right.
All right. Well, next time just have your mouse hovered over a Genbutsu. Okay. Shannon, did you have any questions or thoughts?
Not really.
No?
Maybe I kept like I think I kept the 9 pin probably longer than I should have. But I
Okay,
don't really
let's
know.
take a look at that.
I mean, even on the second turn, it looks like you might have been able to cut 9 pin.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess this is fine, but like you still really don't need the 9 pin.
So what were your thoughts about having the 9 pin? What do you think that helps you accomplish?
So I thought I would prefer my 5/6 mon to be a Liaomen.
Okay.
So I might need another block to generate a pair.
So you were thinking like using this as like 6/9 pin?
So I just kept it for now.
Yeah, that seems fair enough for me. But I did note down here like well, I guess like a well, actually, hold on. At this point, right? If your thought was, okay, I'm gonna keep this 9 pin, maybe I can use it as a pair if I draw 6/9.
Well, I paired up my 5 pin, so I was gonna cut 5 mon and 6 pin.
Okay, and then hold.
I mean, sorry, 6 pin, 9 pin.
So, and you're just gonna hold 9 pin for now as a safer tile. Is that the thought here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that this was the reason. Do you think? Well, I mean, yeah, I'll just ask
Okay,
it.
I think
Anyways.
here I probably could have cut 5 mon instead of 2 mon.
What do you think?
I mean,
is the
they're
difference?
basically about the same, right? But 5 mon is more middle.
Well.
Well.
True. Yeah, I mean that's true. But aside from 5 mon being more middle, do you think there's any other difference?
No. Well, no. They're both out. One on the table. So it's not like it's like, oh, there's more of one to like save for potentially drawing an onko or something like that. I don't know.
When you say you should cut 5 mon because it's more middle, so you should get rid of the dangerous one first, right? Is what you're implying? The more dangerous one.
Yeah.
Who would 5 mon be like dangerous for or against?
Maybe Nikki. Wait, yeah, maybe Nikki. It doesn't look that. I mean, it doesn't really look like you will need the 5 mon unless you have 5. Unless you're waiting it for it like on like a con 5 mon.
It could be upper Monsu, right?
Well,
if you
yeah,
have
I think
4,
Agumon, yeah.
4, 6, 7, you would cut 4 first if you've confirmed
6, 7. Wait, are we talking about Aaron or Nikki?
Nikki.
Nikki. Nikki, if she had a 4, 6, 7
Okay, yeah,
in her hand.
yeah. Okay, so 5 mon would be potentially dangerous against Nikki. I don't think it would be dangerous against Aaron. Well, not that very dangerous against Aaron. Probably.
Okay. Good.
I think we need to talk about how like pairing up this 2 mon means you have enough blocks.
Oh, Oh.
Now you
D-
see.
No, I don't like
Does everyone
the
see?
3-5. I don't like the conform
Yep.
on.
See, you don't be afraid of conchons.
Only be
Conchons
afraid.
are shapes, just like all other shapes.
They
You
they
should
don't
treat them
exist.
with respect.
They don't exist.
Conchons don't exist.
Is this why you always deal into Suji traps?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this is a pretty good time to throw 9-pin.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had 2 other notes for Shannon's hand in this Kyoku. Why tome?
No reason. I was just gonna cut both of them, so I just cut tone. Oh, so it's out too. So I was like, I'll just cut it. I guess maybe. I mean, maybe it's safer. Should I keep this home before the pay? Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty subtle, but I mean, like the tone is 2 out, pay is 1 out. So.
Not. Oh well, I already cut one of the pays, so I guess it would make sense to just cut it again.
I mean,
But
like
I mean,
as a safety aspect.
yeah, I think tone will probably just be better, safety wise.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
That's why you should keep it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not so
No.
sure that you keep the tone here.
You would
See,
keep the pay.
if you're looking for a pair, which is
Oh,
what it sounded
no, that's not the reason why. But that's not the reason I would keep the tone for looking for a pair.
No, exactly. So if you're
That's why you
looking
should
for a
cut the pay.
pair,
Okay. Yes. At this point, I
Yeah.
was looking for a pair.
so since tone is 2 out, it's better to pair up the pay.
Mhm.
And that's why it makes sense to cut the tone here.
On the off chance that you pick up the pay again.
Yeah, then it could be your Jonto, you could have Paifu.
Okay.
Yeah, like normally, if you're gonna cut them both, you cut the pay first because it's more dangerous. It's only one cut, and you're the one who cut it, so it's not like it's anyone's Genbutsu. But with the fact that you're looking for a pair somewhere in mind, the pay is a better tile to pair up. So it makes sense in that respect to keep it.
Is it valid to think that the chances of pairing it up is kind of low? Not really. Like compared to
It's
any
not
other.
it's not lower than the tone.
Yeah, it's not. Well, yeah, not lower than the tone, but like I guess it's not lower than any other tile that you have in your hand already.
I mean, it might even be better because you cut one, no one else cut it, no one called it. They're probably in the wall.
Okay.
Because everyone's just doing normal G high and terminal cuts.
So it's 1 tile, but that's a 100% increase.
It's true. All right, and the last comment I had was this one. Sort of the same theme as Simon. Why 8-pin?
I had this too.
Okay. Yeah. Probably just the 5-pin here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You playing Tenpai here, so just cut the safest one.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Is 8-pin that unsafe?
It doesn't. Okay, so it would have. Okay, it can't be a shampoo because Simon cut 2 of them. It 1, 2, 3, 4. It can't be a con like 7, 9 waiting on 8-pin because all the 9s are out. Wait. Why would you cut 6-pin for that? Okay, anyway, let me think. So it would have to be 6, 7, 7 cutting the 6 for the 8 pin.
What?
No, you
I
mean
mean, sorry, 6, 6,
Five-
7.
five-
Cutting the 7, 6 for the 8 pin.
5 pin
6,
pass.
6, 7. Yeah, 5 pin passed. Oh yeah. Yeah. Anyway, 8 pin didn't look that dangerous to me. But I guess like I just cut the Genbutsu, which makes more sense.
See, the thing is, 8 pin is 100% safe here.
Uh,
But you don't realize that.
Yeah, the problem is that you didn't realize it and you just cut it anyway.
it
All right, why is
Wait.
it 100%? Actually, I don't know if they realize still.
I mean, Shannon kind
Oh
of went
wait,
through most.
yeah, because I see all the 8 pins, so it can't be like Tonki or Shampon on the 8 pin, and I also see all the 9 pins, so it can't be like a Penchant, wait, not Penchant, Conchon on the 8 pin.
It wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
Well, it just can't. It just can't.
Yeah.
And then the 5 pin passed, so it can't be a Dianmen. So like, there's no shape that can wait on the 8 pin.
Yeah.
So it's totally fine to throw this tile. You just have to realize that it's 100% safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even then, should you throw it?
I think I should probably still cut the 5 pin on the off chance that I don't really know. Would Aaron like call tiles that I cut? Maybe he broke up a 5 pin from something and then he'd call it back for shits and giggles.
But if that's true, then he could just call the 5 pin.
Could just call the 5 pin.
Yeah. So is 8 pin better or worse? I don't really know.
I mean, in theory, the 8 pin might give people information that you have information of its safetiness.
Like what information?
It might imply that there's an
see
8
another
pin and a
8-9.
9 pin in your hand.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I mean, I think that is true though. That is true in itself, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody would necessarily be able to.
See, like, if you were in a situation where you cannot afford to deal in, then I think that would be reliable. They'd be like, oh, she must have information that makes this tile safe enough to throw. But the thing is, it already looks kind of safe enough to throw, so this could just be like it could be anything, really.
Right.
Like the situations where it would actually give information would have to be very specific. And then the opponents would actually have to be able to, pick up that information.
Right.
I think the significance of the information still like non-zero here.
Oh,
but
well, yeah.
It's still very low. It's so close to 0 that I don't think anyone will act on it.
Agree.
Okay.
Okay.
So I should cut the 5 pin.
If you know that 8 pin is 100% safe, you can cut 8 pin. Because that guarantees I cannot cheat it.
What?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, wait, sorry. Never mind.
Why would it guarantee that you can't cheat it?
It's less likely. Because I could have cut 5 from 3, 4, 5.
Okay. Again.
It's so insignificant. Let's just gloss over that.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to make absolutely sure that he can't cheat your tile, then you cut 9 pin.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 9 pin was probably the best cut here.
Well, 8 pin's still 100% safe, so it's totally fine. You just have to realize it.
Okay.
All right, moving on. East 3-1.
Okay. I don't remember this hand. Let me.
I have no notes for myself.
Oh, this is. Oh, this is neutral.
Okay. Nikki, do you have any input or thoughts, questions?
Um, I was wondering on turn 2 if I should call the 1 pin.
It's a good question.
You could. I don't think you necessarily have to, though.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm asking.
I think it's a good idea.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because
You don't want me to pull ahead.
Yeah, I think that's the main reason
Oh,
for me.
okay. That seems like a pretty good reason, yeah. I agree.
I mean, if you don't call it, you're looking towards developing your hand into more expensive states, right?
Uh-huh.
yeah,
And please elaborate on
More
what you think
expensive.
those are.
Just draw better tiles.
Like
I
what?
mean, there's 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku potentially,
Yeah, if you squint hard enough, you might be able to see the 5, 6, 7.
or picking up a Dora.
You don't even have to
Which-
squint that hard.
You have to squint 4 tiles.
The most realistic, if you don't call it right, would just be like you just add Ricci.
Ricci, Sanshoku, Chun.
I mean, Ricci Chun isn't low value.
Yeah.
Ricci Chun's not bad. Ricci, if you draw like Dora, you can get up Ricci Dora Chun.
But I mean, you go from like what, 1300 to 32?
Wait,
32.
you mean 52?
Yeah.
Rishun?
Dora.
Dora.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about.
Or you could reach Itsumo Chun, and that'll probably go over.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. I mean, I think calling's probably okay here too.
Yeah,
right?
I think the speed,
You wanna like
it would make
speed
it
up
so
your
much
hand.
faster. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think it's also just okay. I don't really know what the answer is still. I think it's probably fine either way.
Yeah, I probably would not call, but that's just me.
Would calling this make it that much faster?
I don't think it would make it like a whole lot faster. I mean, well,
I think it would make a reasonable difference in speed.
I would still not call this if I had this again.
okay. Well, I mean, I don't think I would call this, but you could.
I would
It's an
absolutely call this.
option. Okay.
I think that if you absolutely call this, you're thinking too small.
Wow, shots fired.
Because you're calling for 13, maybe 26,
It's fine.
and you're still not even going to be left with good shapes necessarily.
You don't see what you're not seeing is the 3 Dora that she will draw next. I'm just kidding.
And still have
Why
3
don't-
Doras, even if you
if
call.
you're gonna draw 3 Dora, then why don't you do it while your men's in?
Good point. That's a good point.
Like this hand has a real chance of being expensive, and I wouldn't want to give up that chance so easily by just calling this 1 pin.
Mm-hmm.
If there was no other value to be found at anywhere else in the hand, then it'd be like, okay, fine, this is a this is a cheap hand, we'll just take it.
So you're saying, what are the most like, I guess reasonable value increases in this hand?
I mean, Ricci is obviously the most reasonable if you keep it closed, and that honestly might be enough.
On its own, okay.
Yeah, like if you add Ricci and Sumo to Chun Anko, it's very likely to be 52.
Right.
Could be more. You don't even necessarily have to Sumo. It could be like, well, I guess it depends on the final shape, but ideally you hope that the 6-mon changes into a Yanmen that can include the Sanshoku. And you could even, like, if you have the confirmed Sanshoku, like you're waiting on 6-0 or something, with 5-6-7 Sanshoku, you don't even have to Rishi if you don't want to, depending on the state of the board at that time, and it could still be expensive.
I have a hypothetical, but that can come after. But I'm gonna ask now, and let me know if you guys want to talk about it. What if Yoshimocha cuts 1 pin again next turn?
In the same like round before you get a draw, you mean?
No, you draw 1 more time, but it's nothing.
It's just Tsumogiri and then Shimocha, like Tsumogiri is another 1 pin.
Yeah.
So like, what if this were the second 1 pin?
Yes.
Is what you're asking.
Yeah. We can talk about it after, but things get
That's a good question. I was also gonna ask if you would call the 4-6-0.
Honestly, I'd be more inclined to call 4-6-0.
Yeah, that's what I think, because it speeds up.
Then yeah.
Like it speeds it up more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the uncertain part of the hand, right?
I like the
Ankan.
6-0.
But not 4.
Or I'd probably still call that. Yeah. I don't know. Probably.
If you call, do you throw Haku or 3-so?
The 3-so.
Haku.
Oh, Haku's probably
Guys, talk about it.
I mean, yeah. Wait. Okay. Well, you don't need the Haku, so I guess if you want to keep the 3-so, and then draw something like 2-so 4. Draw the Dora. Oh wait, yeah, that's your door acceptance. Never mind. Yeah, you want to keep the 3-so. Yeah. Cut the Haku.
But if you call, it's going from 1,000 to, 1,000-ish to 2,000-ish. Drawing the Dora for a value increase, I don't think it's that significant.
I mean, you can just. Oh well, you can always just cut it later, unless you're scared that like 3-so will deal in later. Are you scared? Maybe
It's going to be scarier to throw.
It'll be a little scarier, yeah. So, but I mean, yeah, if you draw like around the 3-so, you could ditch one of your pairs or something like that.
What's the consensus here?
Well, I think I'm the only one who said I would call.
Call the 1 pin, Aaron said.
No, I meant the 6 after the 6-so chi.
Oh.
I think Haku's a pretty reasonable cut. Wait, how early are we talking? How early would this call happen?
Like right now.
I think I could cut the Haku.
Yeah, same.
I mean, that's pretty normal, but I also think that what Bryant said about, you're not really going to increase value even if you get a Dora is very important to keep in mind here. If you're calling, that means you're accepting the fact that this is going to be a cheap hand. And even if you stick something to the 3-so, like if you stick a 4-so to it, Like
Yeah,
it
that doesn't
doesn't
guarantee
really,
that you'll get the Dora.
and it
but-
doesn't really help that much either.
Well, I
yeah,
mean,
but I mean, I would keep it in case you do draw the Dora, because I don't really want to cut the Dora either. If you just don't draw the Dora, then that's fine. Just cut. Like if you finish your other block, then yeah, just cut the 3-so, right? I mean, unless it gets really late, or it gets later, then maybe just cut it earlier, because you do have blocks. It's just if I draw the Dora, I would not want to cut it.
I mean, like, couldn't you also think about it like if you keep the 3-so, then you can create a create a nailman around it, and then you can just cut one of your pairs because you have 2.
What? That's what I'm saying, right?
Oh, that's what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
That's like the only way to interpret keeping the 3-so.
Yeah. Is that? But that's valid, right? That's a reason why you would keep it. A good reason.
Yeah. The thing is just that that they were saying like even if you do get the Dora, it's not a huge value, or like it's not like it's an extra 1,000 points. So
Right. I'm not doing.
and if you draw like the 4-so instead of the 2-so, right, for the Yaomen, you're
Yeah.
also not guaranteed to get the Dora.
Yeah,
So
I
it'd still
was
be
just
1,000 points.
purely keeping 3-so for potential shape upgrades, not for the potential upgrade value upgrades.
Yeah.
But does 3-so really get you good shape upgrades if they're around the Dora?
Like because of
Oh.
the fact that people might be holding on to tiles around the Dora, so it'll actually be kind of worse than usual. Is that what you're implying?
Yes.
Okay.
But
so
I mean,
it's not good.
it's that versus Haku, right?
I mean, yeah.
Well, it's that versus your current shape. Like
Yeah.
you're keeping 3-so expecting to improve the shape with it.
So that you can cut a pair,
Mhm.
right? I also think that like you could just as easily draw something around the 6-mon to improve the shape there.
Yeah, but even if you don't, it doesn't matter if you cut.
Without having to keep the 3-so.
It doesn't
right?
matter if you cut 3-so or Haku. You can always draw something around the 6-mon. But
Yeah.
That doesn't make a difference for that one.
I mean, pairing up the Haku would be pretty good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, it would be pretty not bad.
Not only would it increase the safety of the hand, but it would make it easier to finish your Shampoo because it's more likely to be discarded.
True.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the 3-so camp.
To
Cut
the
3-so.
Cut 3-so.
I am also in the cut 3-so camp.
I'm still on cut Haku.
I think I agree with cut 3-so.
I would still cut Haku.
All right.
Cutting Haku is normal.
Would probably cut Haku in this scenario if I cheat the 6-so.
Would anything change if 2-so were not the Dora?
I would cut the 3-so.
Wait, if 2-so is not,
It's
so bad.
That doesn't make.
If 2-so is not the Dora, I finish my block. I don't really need the 3-so. It's whatever.
But didn't we just explain
Yeah.
that you shouldn't keep it for the Dora value improvement?
Yeah, I mean, well, if you happen to draw the Dora, I mean, it's not.
She's not saying that's for the Dora improvements for the hold Dora defense or what? Is that?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense.
I think that's kind of inconsistent.
Okay.
So if Dora wasn't,
call,
oh sorry,
if you're gonna call, you should be prepared to cut the Dora. I think.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I think if you call, then you should be okay with cutting it.
Okay.
so if Dora was not 2-so, if it were like something else that you didn't have, or didn't have tiles near, then would you still keep Haku over 3-so?
Who are you asking, Nikki?
I'm asking everyone. Everyone who said they would.
I mean, okay,
They
no,
would
I
cut.
think I would probably cut 3-so because like you can see all your blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you can see all your blocks. You don't really need the 3-so.
It's true, but it's like so early. Like you could just draw 2-so, 4-so.
I mean, you could, or you can draw 5 mon.
Yeah, but you
7
can do
mon.
that regardless whether you cut 3-so or Haku.
Yeah,
You just
you don't need a
gain
3-so
2
for
or
that,
4.
I guess. Or you can just draw another Haku.
Would you take the Conchan over the Shampoo if you were to draw 1 or 5, Aaron?
Like 5-so.
Yeah.
Then. Oh, I mean, it would have to depend on the state of the board. But like, if it were like. Yeah, it would have to depend, I guess.
What would it really depend
Sorry.
that much though?
What's the question?
Like Aaron's saying, we're going down the road on keeping the 3-so for the shape improvement.
Mhm.
But I'm asking if you end the 3-so with a Conchan, then are you gonna swap out one of your pairs for it?
It's possible.
I see.
It's possible. I
So
would do
you're-
that.
So you're gonna go against Richibook 1 and then where it wants you to have 2 pairs, so you can complete one of them and have a Jonto left over.
It's possible that I would do that. Yes.
It is possible.
Well, you know,
Is that
being
better?
honest is
I would not
I
keep
think-
Conchan though.
Yeah, if you're gonna call, right, you work because this is under the assumption that you called 6-so.
uh-huh.
Oh, right. We're gonna be calling 6-so. Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you stick something to the 3-so that makes it a Conchan afterwards.
Yeah. Then no, I wouldn't take. The
Okay, then
Conchan.
just cut the 3-so.
But I mean,
What?
you could
No.
draw 2 tiles next to 3-so that would make it a Liangmen, whereas
That's
Haku you would
different
have to
from
draw
drawing a
Haku.
3-so.
Right.
Okay.
That's my reasoning, because you have 2 tiles that could improve the shape versus 1 tile. That's the difference.
Versus one tile, what?
Haku.
Oh, okay.
I'm with Aaron, and I also like Nima said that if you call with this hand, like you should be prepared to throw Dora, but I think one small factor that pushes calling on this hand versus like because this hand can accept the Dora, so like Shannon said, you don't have to throw it, is another reason why it gains an it gains an edge over just like a normal hand that doesn't have the Dora acceptance.
Is that for if you're gonna call it?
Like calling the 6-0 and keeping the 3-0.
So what is the benefit of accepting the Dora though? Because like we've discussed, like it's either value increase or
So you
shape
don't have to.
improvement.
You don't have to
or-
cut the
It's so
Dora.
that I don't have to cut it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
The defense increase for not cutting Dora.
I mean, like if you cut the Dora, people will think
It's
your
like
hand's
not
cheap.
even. It's like not even.
People will think your hand's
Isn't,
cheap if you
isn't
cut the
this a real
Dora.
reason though? Like that's why I would keep the 3-0 so that I don't have to throw a 2-0.
You're bluffing your Dora 3, okay? The one they can't see.
see, if you're gonna call, then you're expecting this hand to be like quick and cheap, right?
Uh-huh.
So should it even matter if you have to throw the Dora? Like you're just gonna win real quick.
But I mean, like, it would still help you if you drew the Dora, and just draw out a pair.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, I think all those are valid, but at the end, it's just like where your balance and thresholds are, and how you qualitatively assess the goodness of that block, and how likely it's going to be improved, right? And like I think we have exhausted the reasonings, the lines of reasonings. We just didn't fill in the numbers yet.
Okay.
And I think we can
I
move
mean,
on.
so just to summarize, like,
Yeah.
people who are saying just cut 3 so, like, the improvements around there are just not that great, even if you drew like 2 so or 4 so. It's just not that great of an improvement, and so just throw it. Is that basically it?
Yeah, I also think 3 so will be dangerous later, but goes in the same part.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I
Okay.
could always throw it later, but yeah. Okay, that's a good question.
Are we gonna talk about what if the one pin was the second one pin? Because we kind of skipped over that.
I think we can come back. Or what?
Let's just finish.
I don't think you really need to call the one pin though, unless.
The second one.
That's
Okay,
not-
I guess if the goal, which I think the goal here is to go fast, then I guess you just call the second one.
Well, I mean,
If the goal here is to go fast, shouldn't you call anything?
Yeah,
even
sure.
the first
You
one.
would just call the
including
first
the first one.
so I guess
So I guess the real question is what changes because if you see a second one come out. Does it make a difference if it's Tadashi or
I don't think
Mogiri?
you call it.
Oh
Because
yeah, huge difference.
I think you could probably just try to draw something around the 6-mon.
I mean, Tsumogiri is like scary-ish, right? Does that, or sorry, Tadashi is a little weirder to see
If they
this
cut
early.
like a pair of one pin from their hand.
A pair of anything from their hand this early.
I see.
Does that lean towards not
I
calling?
just wanted
for
to go for
safety?
Tanya, okay? No one pins allowed.
I
Well,
mean,
go ahead.
first of all, we should be clear here. Simon's asking as if one player threw the pair of one pin.
Uh-huh.
Not that this is just the second one pin from anywhere.
Yeah.
Which one should we talk about?
let's just talk about general case. The second one pin comes out.
Yeah, I was thinking more like, what if the second one pin comes out this turn from a different player?
Then would you call it? I don't think I would open my hand for a one pin, to be honest.
So you would only call if it filled in your Kanchan? Or your Ryankan?
Probably, yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, I think, like, you have decent enough shapes to, like, just draw them yourself. Close, and then you can reach your hand. Be better. Yeah.
Alright, any other?
And then if you need to fold, you have an Anko of Chun. Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, well, opening your hand, you can still call and fold with an Anko Chun, sorry. Anyway.
if you keep this hand closed, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's pretty likely for it to end up on a
Kanchan?
shabo.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So if you don't call that second one pin, half your weight's going to be dead.
I don't agree with the assessment that
You're
this
probably
hand
It won't
gonna
necessarily.
probably
Okay.
end up on a shop. Well, I mean, I feel like the 6-mon, you can reasonably expect to stick something to it.
Well, let me give you my thought process on why I don't think it's gonna likely end up on our shovel. You can think that from just the likelihood of completing your blocks, that 6-pin and 1-pin is is the slowest block to finish, right? Because they accept the lowest.
Yeah.
That's totally reasonable. But however, that's like if you have no misses in the middle. If you miss, you're likely to swap it out with your Haku. In which case, you will have way more to float around. And you can also see your Sozus. Like one of them turning into the Unman, so that's like 2 blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can still, I mean, like draw anything next to the 6-mon. As
Right.
stated before. Does that sound right, Nima?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with all
So
those
then-
reasons aside, though, that would require you to, you know, evolve your hand, draw another block, draw something around it, right? So it changes.
Mm-hmm.
If the second 1-pin comes out, you could just skip over all of that, just Pong. And then wouldn't that just make it super fast, or much faster than that? What we just
But the thing
described?
is, I feel like this hand also has potential to be much more valuable than 1000. So
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to talk about this because some people would have already pwned the first one, right?
Exactly. That's why I'm not answering this question.
Yeah.
Well,
But if you don't pwn the first one,
wait. Yeah, I guess if we formulate the question as like, if you don't pawn the first one, is there any scenario where you pawn the second one? Is there any framework that you can work under to justify pawning the second one, not the first one?
it's late and you're calling for K10. I don't know.
no,
Yeah,
it's
see,
still
like-
some turn, right?
See, if it's the same turn, I don't think that you pass the first one and call the second one. Like if you were gonna call it, you would have called the first one, and if you're gonna pass, then you're passing with the expectation of keeping this hand closed for value.
Okay.
But I think it's not unreasonable to pass the first one, and then later on, the hand doesn't progress at all, and you just end up having to open anyway.
Right.
Calling balance very hard.
Yes, calling tiles is a difficult skill.
Personally, if this was cut in the next turn by the same player as Terashi, I would call it.
Very specific, but sure.
To match speed?
I don't want to find out what's going on over there. And if I must fold, I still have my tune, so I think
That's
it's
actually reasonable.
I think it's pretty reasonable.
Would you call the first one, Bryant?
No.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right, moving on. Any other comments about this hand? By any player?
I like this kind of discussions. Like, it's kind of originally just a simple 1-pin call. Should I call or not? But there's a lot of talk about with the state of your hand and calling in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really good.
I wasn't sure if I should have called Simon's Tenpai or Ricci tile whenever that happened.
The 9-pin, yeah.
And because 5/8 is also like out 5 of them. So 5/8 doesn't even look that good. Not I don't know. So I don't really
like okay, so you can call and not take 5/8. So there's another
Yeah,
option.
then I would have to cut 6 unless I
It-
just don't go for Tenpai, then I should just not call, right?
I mean, if you wanted to take 5/8, so you have to cut 7, so which isn't safe either.
Yeah. You're right. So but then 7 Dora, I would basically have to rely on Simon to cut the Dora for me, right? There's
Or
only
draw it.
or draw it. There's like 3 left because Nikki already cut a 7
I mean, it's 3 tiles versus 3 tiles.
You're right.
Mhm.
Okay. And the Dora would be more valuable. Okay,
Yes.
so you think 6 would be better to cut?
I think it's an option if you call for Tenpai here. Yeah.
Okay, would you call for Tenpai though, or no?
Let's ask everyone.
I don't
Mhm.
know if calling for
The players
Tenpai
answer
is
first.
good. Because I mean, this breaks Ipatsu too, so there's that, I guess. You know.
I would do
But
this
then I would have
even
to
in
push a dangerous
Ipatsu.
tile.
Dude, in Ipatsu or Inashi, you're definitely gonna push Dora 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not what we're talking about though.
Okay, but even if it didn't break Ipatsu, I would still, like, if it came out the turn after, I would still call it and throw 6.
Throw 6, okay.
Simon, Nikki.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe 7.
I call it, but I don't know. I don't know which weight is better.
They don't. Neither of them look really good. I guess maybe you should take the one that lets you accept an extra Dora. But I also
I feel like
don't think there's any. I mean,
There-
it's very possible that all the Dora are in everyone else's hands. It's just
I
never
feel
gonna
like
come out.
I feel like 5/8 is more likely.
And then 5/8, like 2 people have already been cutting them, so it doesn't look like they want them. So I guess if they draw it again and they don't want to cut it, they have to fold their hands. I don't really know if that's like something I can assume though. I don't really know.
Hey, did the Rishi stick come out already? Like on this screenshot?
No, it did.
Not yet.
1、2、
So there's 2,000 on the table. 2,300.
Okay.
Plus 39 for the hand.
Yeah, that's pretty high value if you ask me.
Okay, so you should definitely take the Tenpai. It's just a question of which Tenpai to take.
Yeah, normally that's definitely enough value to be pushing
Pushing.
against a Ricci,
Uh-huh.
right? I think it is.
Okay. So the question is which Tenpai to take, because do you want to take the one that lets you take one more Dora, but it doesn't, I don't really know how likely it would be to find another Dora. I mean, you can probably assume that at least one other player on this table has a Dora, right?
I mean, just from a statistical standpoint,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is very, very reasonable to think that not all of the Dora are left for you to take.
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like
7 so is probably better. Is that what you're thinking?
so I decided to take 5/8 so.
1、
I don't really know.
2、
Is that why you decided to take 5/8 so?
I took 5/8 so because 7 so was out one, and also because like my Shimocha and Toymen don't look like they want the 5/8 so's. So if they don't cut it, like if they draw it again and they would probably fold on it or something. Well, I don't really want them to fold, but like then it kind of like also stops them from like progressing their hand, I guess. I don't really know. I don't even know if that makes any sense.
I mean, they're also going to be defending against the Ricci, so I don't know if you need to think that far about it.
Okay.
Yeah, none of those tiles are safe against the Ricci.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I think
So maybe I don't. Yeah. I don't really know.
I mean, this is. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is probably just like trying to wall read, like trying to see, trying to assume which tiles are left on the wall, right? With the information being that the 5 and 8 are not needed by Toyman and Shimocha. And so, if there's 3 tiles left, 5s and 8s, where are they likely to be? Are they likely to be in their hand?
They're either in. I mean, they could have like more, right? And they just cut their extras.
Is that likely?
That's very unlikely.
That is very unlikely.
It seems unlikely with
It is very unlikely.
Seems unlikely.
And so if they don't need it, if they don't have it in their hands,
Then either Simon has it or it's in the wall.
that's right.
Yeah.
Is this going too far, Nima?
I mean, it's going too far if you can't actually like figure this out during the game.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, like, but should we continue down this discussion? Is what I'm
I
asking.
think so, because I feel like it's the only. I mean, since they have the same amount of tiles. I mean, yes, the 2-so is higher value, but like, if you wanted to try to see what your win rate was, then the only real way would be to guess where they are, right?
Right.
So I think it's a good thing to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that Shimocha and Toyman have cut 5-so and 8-so themselves means that, yeah, it's very likely they don't have them, which means they're more likely to be in the wall. So I mean that's pretty simple.
Okay. Yeah. So
And
that's
then,
good.
oh, and like Shannon was saying earlier, just probability wise, both 2-so aren't going to be left in the wall most likely. So it's normal to just take the 5-8-so Yeonmin here, and I think that's what I would do too.
Yeah. And I think for those two reasons together makes a very strong lean
Okay.
towards taking this 5-8.
Okay. Was it okay to keep pushing this hand? I kept drawing like tiles that looked really sus.
Well, that depends. What tile do you push here?
7 mon.
Oh no.
Incorrect.
4 mon, because it's half Suchi to the 1. I don't know.
That's not the reason.
What's the reason?
Let's try thinking about it. Other audience members also think about this. If you don't know the answer.
What's I don't know the answer.
I mean, both 4-mon and 7-mon deal into a 4-7-mon Yeonmin, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
the distinction here is like what other types of shapes can 4-mon or 7-mon deal into?
Oh, Penchan, Kanchan. Sorry,
Seven
so the
has a
Senmon can deal
Kanchan.
into Penchan, can deal into a Kanchan, can deal into Shampon, can deal into Tonki. Yeah.
I mean, they're both Shonpai, so they can both deal into Tonki or Shampon, just like normally.
7 has Penchon, whereas 4
Has,
does not have the other side
I mean,
because
Fur
of the
has
1 mon.
Kanchan.
I mean, they
No,
can
so they both have Kanchan,
Yeah.
but 4 mon doesn't have the invisible Penchon on the other side because 1 mon is Genbutsu.
Huh.
So 4
So
mon.
7 mon has the upper, right? So 4 and 7 share 4's upper Manzu and 7's lower Manzu, the 5-6.
Yeah.
7 has 8-9. 4 doesn't have 2-3 because the Ricci person
Okay, I
has
see.
1 mon in the Genbutsu. So
I
there's
see.
one less shape.
4 mon's better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're
Okay.
excluding,
But does that actually make it less likely to deal in though? Isn't it just possible that it's like comparable deal-in rates, but for the 7-mon, it's just that the percentages of the deal-in shape is different. Like it's made up of different percentages.
I think it's
That's a valid question to ask.
Because I wouldn't think that just because the 4-mon can't deal into
A 2-3?
the invisible penchant doesn't make it less likely to deal in overall.
I think what you're saying is like very logically true, but like if we're estimating percentages as a general framework, you kind of just go by the amount of possible shapes left.
Yeah, and so when
Right.
we're talking
Like
about
I think in theory you could actually analyze everything and figure out the percentages, but it is very difficult to go deeper than that. And number of shapes is like a good first order approximation
yeah,
to start.
Oh my god, half Suji is real.
it's not
Half Suji real.
the main
Half
Not
Suji
the half
real.
Suji.
the main point here is to observe that if you're not talking about Liaomens, right, because 4 and 7 could deal into the same Liaomen as Nima said, the main comparison is 4 can only deal into 3-5 Kanchan, whereas 7 can deal into 6-8 Kanchan or 8-9 Penchan. Right, that's the distinction.
Okay.
And so,
In
So
this-
half Suji real.
In this sort of case where you're gonna throw one of them anyway, then it's better to throw the half Suji most of the time.
yes.
Okay.
Another point here is because Kamicha cut the 1 mon, it's less likely that they have a Kanchan anyway for 4 mon, because if they had a Yonkan, they probably would have kept the 1 mon.
Okay. Yeah. I see. Okay. I see.
It's like several Tadashis before, so it's not like they couldn't have drawn into it afterwards, but it's less likely than normal.
Mhm.
Like they could
Alright.
have just had a 6-8 mon or an 8-9 mon, and like you have no clues about that.
Okay.
So 4 mon is definitely less likely to deal into 7 mon in this specific scenario.
Okay.
Nima, do you know if someone's like actually done numbers on this, like disregarding the thinking if it's a Dankon or not? Like if what I said is that even though there's more shapes it could deal into, the overall deal-in percentage is the same or not?
I might have the data on this. I'll have to look.
All right.
Yeah, I'll look after this.
Okay. Was there any point where I should like give up on this hand because I drew too many dangerous looking tiles?
I mean, Forso is fine.
1
Oh yeah, it's Nakasuji. That one's also Nakasuji. And that one's Genbutsu.
The Chun?
Okay, it seems fine.
The Chun
No,
was
the-
Shunpai.
The 9 so.
Oh.
Oh,
I mean, you still cut the Chun. It's fine.
1
I mean, I think it's fine. Like you didn't throw anything particularly dangerous.
except for like the 7 so cut, right?
That's your tempai cut. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good push.
Oh, this hand I turned off tile calling and then missed my call, and I
so
was like,
Is that okay?
that's the reason. Okay, I was gonna ask.
I was like, oh shoot, I need to turn it back on, and then he cut it. And I was like, oh man, I missed.
Okay, so this is what I wrote for this one. Okay, well actually, yeah. Is it okay if we start here, or did you guys want to talk about something earlier?
So I meant to call Simon's
It's up to you.
second 3-pin. I was thinking about calling his first one, but it was off, right? And then Aaron cut it again, and I was like, oh man, this pin looks really bad. I'm gonna turn on tile calling, and then I didn't turn on fast enough, and then I missed the third 3-pin again, and I was like, okay, maybe I should just give up on this hand. So I give up on Itsu.
Okay, yeah. So I guess my original question was 3-pin question mark. You said you would.
Yeah, I would definitely like the second one he cut. I would absolutely have called.
Yeah.
The first one I thought about, but I wasn't sure because it's still not confirmed, right? I would have to. I could only run the 4-pin, but definitely the second one that he cut, I would absolutely call it.
Okay, so you're unsure about the 4-pin or the first 3-pin. Sorry.
Yeah, but also like maybe you should just call it right away, just because how many times can you reasonably expect your Kamicha to cut your 3-pin for you, right? I mean, your Kamicha can probably cut a 4-pin too, and that'd be okay.
Yeah, but if your Kamicha cuts 4-pin, don't you want to be able to say Roan instead of Chi?
Yeah. Okay, so you would call the first 3-pin that gets cut.
It's really late. It's the third row.
Yeah, but I also thought like my hand doesn't really have value. It's like Itsu only, right? So
There's a 2600 on the table.
oh, you're right. You're right.
There's also K10.
Okay, so call the first 3-pin. Got it. But anyway, I didn't turn on my tile call. I didn't turn it back on. Sorry, I didn't turn the disabled tile calling
Yeah,
off fast enough.
I see. Okay, well,
Yeah.
it looks like you fell into the same fate that I did, and that's why I didn't make A1. Anyways, so at what point, I had another question for you. At what point should you throw 5-mon? Like, would you be... Yeah.
When I get my Itsu.
Okay, so you would just hold on to it until you get Tenpai, is what you're saying.
I mean Shanten, right? Yeah. I mean if I draw something around the 5-mon, like if I upgrade my 5-mon into Yamen, I might just ditch Itsu.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to hear. That's what I wondered. That's what I was wondering if you would. So like, let's say instead of this non, you drew like 4-mon right now.
Yeah, yeah, I would maybe just ditch Itsu. Is that bad? Because then I can't open my hand. But I feel like the Itsu acceptance is also not very high. It's like very specific tiles.
And then would you Ricci when you get to Tenpai?
Yeah. I would have to Ricci this hand.
Ricci no Mi?
If it's a Liaomen, it's kind of late, huh?
You would reach and then say I shouldn't have reached.
That's exactly what I would do. I just don't think I would Ricci a Kanchan though. Ricci no Mi on a Kanchan late seems really bad.
Okay, so if like, so yeah, I guess if in that case, the only reason you're holding this 5-mon is if you draw 4 or 6, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Is that does anyone else have any other differing thoughts? Like, is just holding that good, or would you just trade it with the non right now?
I think you could have even cut 5-mon several turns ago, like when you pick up 6-pin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because being able to win this hand is
more
pretty
important.
it's pretty valuable, right? Because of all the sticks on the table.
Yeah. Okay, I see.
So you could just choose to strengthen your Ishanten shape here by cutting 5-mon.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then like same thing with the 9-pin a few turns from now.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Like,
I cut the 9-pin for the same. I was like, well, I already cut the 6-pin, so I just cut the 9-pin.
No, that is different. It's different.
It's different.
I think it's easier to keep this 9-pin than it is to keep the 6-pin.
Oh, it is? I'm thinking. Like, on the possibility you end up on a Shumpo or something?
How would that happen?
I have no idea. You complete... So you keep the 9-pin, cut the 5-mon, and you draw... Wait, yeah, why you would not take the Shumpo?
You would not. You would never take that.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Okay, I don't know. First, wait. 9-pin. What does the 9-pin do? It's like safer
I
than
mean,
the
it's
5-mon?
safer than the 6-pin or the 5-mon, yeah.
Okay. I see. Like that's the reason to keep the 9-pin? Or
And it improves your Ishanten shape, just like the 6-pin would have.
uh-huh.
But
Okay.
the reason why I think it's okay to just cut the 6-pin when you first draw it
Uh-huh.
is because you're probably gonna wait on the 3-pin.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And you're playing on a table with people who know that Riichi Suji isn't safe. So like if you kept the 6-pin and you draw 4-7-pin, or really just 4-pin, I guess, and you cut 6-pin
Uh-huh.
for Arichi, people aren't gonna throw the 3-pin.
Uh-huh.
But if you throw it in advance, if you Riichi on the 3-pin penchant, even if you chi 4-pin and wait on
Mhm.
the 3-pin penchant, it's a lot more reasonable to expect that 3-pin will come out.
Okay.
Cut 5-mon here. This is a good time.
I mean, you could have cut it. You could even cut it back when you drew the 6-pin, and then when you draw 9-pin, you could just switch it out if you want.
Yes. Good time.
Yeah, because it's gonna be hard to get. Yeah, normally you would keep the 6-pin, but it's gonna be hard to get Tanya with this anyway.
All right. Any other questions or comments about this hand?
I have a question for Simon when you cut 3-pin.
When he cut 3-pin?
Yeah,
You have a couple choices here, right?
I do.
Tell us how you think about each one.
So the way I was looking at it was I saw 4-4-6-8 as 2 blocks. Part of it was because 5-so was pretty dead. And also
Okay.
I want to use the 4-sos
That's right.
as a pair, potentially.
Mhm.
And so if you count the blocks, then 2, 3, 3, 3, 4 is 2 blocks. I'd be 6 blocks. So the choice was between cutting 2 4-pin versus 3-pin in my mind.
Okay.
I saw 6 pins pass for everyone, so I felt cutting 2 3-pins is a safer way to advance.
Four
Okay.
pin kind of passed as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know if I
2-pin.
mean 2-pin's pretty safe, but
Yeah.
One chance.
I mean,
I still wanted my Paifu chance as well.
like 2-pin, I wouldn't say it's pretty safe.
One chance is not safe.
Okay.
It's also 3rd row, and it's still a Shonpai.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't comfortable at the time throwing 2-pin. I remember that. Because I did note the 4-pin just passing at the time, so that's why I chose 3-pin here.
Are there any other options aside from the 2, 3, or 4?
Not to me.
Yeah, or to anyone.
I would see cutting 8-pin or 6/8 so before cutting the 2-3-4 pin block.
I do think if you end up like keeping the 3-pin block, right? And then if you also want to keep 2 of your Doras, you'll just you either need 1 more Dora or another 3-pin, right?
Wait, so Nikki, you want to 6 blocks?
No, I think cutting, well, 6/8 so would not be 6 blocks.
But
But yeah,
cutting
8-pin or 7-pin would be 8-pin.
Yeah, cutting
I
8-pin.
explicitly chose against 6 blocks here. I remember thinking about this one.
3-pin looks reasonable.
Yeah, it does.
Especially because, like, if yeah, like 3-pin doesn't looks really hard for you to keep just because like along with your pair of Dora. Yeah.
Is the 6 blocks really bad here?
like
Don't
you're not really even saving anything by going 6 blocks, because normally by going 6 blocks you're like making sure you don't miss out on anything, but that doesn't even do that here. Like you cut 8-pin so you don't miss the last 3-pin, but then you miss 6-9-pin. Like, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, like cutting 3-pin only misses 3-pin.
Mm-hmm.
Would cutting 7-pin also just miss only 7-pin?
I mean, I would still no, because if you keep the 7-pin, you can call
You can call what?
Forso.
You can still call Forso.
Yeah, but if you keep the 7, like if you keep a pair of 7-pin, you can just cut the 8-pin and call the Forso. I mean, I would keep all of 7, 7, 8. Like 6, 6, 9 is also out like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 of them as well.
See,
I mean,
the
7 pin's also out.
the difference between missing out on 7-pin and missing out on 3-pin is that 7-pin, it's much more likely that the last one comes out compared to the 3-pin.
Mm-hmm. That's the difference, right?
Yeah. Additionally, by choosing to go 5 blocks, you're not missing out on tile acceptance at each on 10.
So conclusion is 3-pin pretty good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
like
think.
cutting 3-pin here.
I don't know why, but I still don't like it.
No, you have to explain it.
I know, I'm trying to.
リーチ
I mean, you don't really lose out on 6-9 pin because there's like not that many left, and I don't want the 9-pin either because I want to confirm the Tanyao since I'm most likely gonna have to call to finish this hand now, since it's getting late.
I mean, it's kind of unlikely that you win anyway. You're the Anshan 10 with 4 draws left.
And a lot of the blocks are half dead.
So like I would take Tenpai from this. Like, value wise, I'd be okay with just being Tenpai.
Um,
Okay. Any other comments or questions?
I'm a little tinfoiled cutting to 4-pin.
Explain.
What does that mean?
All right. And the off chance. Well, first of all, I want to say I don't value the Paifu that much here.
Yeah, I didn't that much. It was mainly just what's the best 6 blocks I can take, or 5 blocks I can take.
4-pin is a little bit more baity for the 7-pin, if you want to call and finish. And there's a really off chance that if your Shimocha cheese 4-pin,
Oh dear.
okay, if your Shimocha cheese 4-pin, it's more likely for this person to overflow the 7-pin for you later. But that's very tinfoiled, I think.
Even interesting.
Just something I wanted to say.
Okay, we should finish up these 3.
Yeah, I mean,
How did we end up
That's a lot.
talking about 3 hands? What? Okay, more than 3 hands. How did this happen?
Yeah.
This was the 4th hand.
we're discussing.
Yeah, we
All right.
we are
We
at
We can
time.
move on.
We are at time, but do you
I mean,
guys
is there anything else for this Kyoku?
Anything else for this Kyoku?
Yeah, I wanted
finish
to look on my hand too.
Your Fuditen reach?
Is this the hand that did it?
This is your
Yeah.
Fuditen reach hand.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this
I
hand
remember
was
because
very,
I was
very
I
interesting.
because I ran out of time and then cut the 4-pin Ipatsu and then freaked out. But then afterwards I was like, oh, you're a Fuditen.
1
So, what is your question, Nikki? Whether you should have
It's
done it?
kind of like the whole hand, because the whole hand progressed in a way that I could never have seen. So it's kind of a lot. We could just do it next time too.
Yeah,
I
think
guess, yeah. It's gonna
Let's
take a while.
yeah, let's
Let's-
stop it here,
wait.
and then we'll discuss.
Let's go back to
next
my
time.
hand. I have, I guess, a small thing
Okay.
I wanted to.
Yeah, we'll talk about. We'll start off next time talking about this hand.
Can we go to turn 5? So here, I think I should have just cut one so, but I'm not 100% sure.
Why
That's
you
pretty
cut
greedy, isn't it?
Why?
one so
Is it?
when you can
Okay.
cut like 4-pin instead? Right. I don't know. Because 4-pin generates
No.
a pair, but you already have a pair, right? So if you're gonna cut a
Yeah.
pair, why don't you just cut your pair generator?
Okay, so that is pretty greedy. Okay.
Yeah, like I don't think you cut one
Why?
so from
Okay.
this.
Are you thinking
If-
like Tanyo? It's not even guaranteed.
I know.
Like if you desperately needed value, then sure, but
Not with the 6 on the table.
yeah, definitely not here.
Okay.
You don't want to miss the straightest Tenpai, and I mean,
Right.
you kind of don't want to miss the uncle either.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just wanted to.
All right.
Okay.
We'll stop it here, and we'll continue with the same hand, but with Nikki's hand for discussion next time.
Okay.